Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. My name is Mahmoud Kiosari and this is Special K. So today we are going to move on into another subject. Like the previous videos that you can some kind of look at through the YouTube channel, we were talking about four basic arithmetic operations. So right now we are trying to dive a little bit inside the topic itself, and we are going to start the work with the fractions. Okay, let's talk about addition and subtraction of fraction. So if you remember, I told you that we had a reason to find the LCD and the CD itself, least common denominator and the common denominator again. If you don't remember that, you can just check the previous videos and everything is explained in detail. So we have to find a way in order to convert all of the fractions that we have into the common denominator or the same denominator. Why? Because this is the only way that we can do the addition or subtraction. So imagine at this point I do have three fractions. 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4. So obviously it's not that hard. I can just do the addition because they have the same denominator. If you do add all of that, you have 6 over 4. If you convert this 6 over 4 to the whole number and the fraction, it would be something like this. If you remember, we had it in our previous videos, so you can just check it in order to see that how I just converted 6 over 4 to 1 with 1 over 2. So first of all, just before talking about the fraction itself, because it's not that hard. You will only have to find a way in order to convert your numbers into what? Into the same denominator. Let's talk about addition of mixed numbers. Again, what was the mixed numbers? From the previous videos, we know that mixed number is the combination of a whole number and a fraction. So imagine that you do have a mixed number and you would like to add both of them together. The whole numbers are going to add it up first. It means that I do have two numbers. One, for example, one is this one, another one is something like this. 3, 1/3, 1 and a half. So if I want to add these two numbers together, I can just start with adding the whole numbers. 3 plus 1. Simple. Right now, I just got rid of the whole numbers. But when we are talking about the fractions, at this point, it's going to be a little bit challenging. 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3. Imagine that you do have two pizzas and you would like to add one slice of a pizza that it has two slices in it in order to consider as a whole pizza, and you would like to add it with another slice from another pizza that three slices of at specific pizza is going to be considered as a whole one. So at this point we say that, okay, how am I going to do that? So the easy answer is that you have to find the common denominator, or at some points the least common denominator. What does that mean? It means that you have to find a number in order to use that one as your reference and convert your denominator 2 and 3 to that number. So we remember that from finding the least common denominator, again from the previous video, you can check that how we can do that. Find the prime numbers. So at this point we are lucky, 2 and 3, both of them are prime numbers, and multiply them together based on the most repeated times. 2 and 3, just multiply, somehow repeated one time. 2 by 3 is 6. So for sure I know that if I want to convert these two guys into new fractions, their denominator or the least common denominator is 6. So how I should work with the numerator? What is the number that I have to multiply by 2, and that number is going to be 6? The number is 3. I have to do the same with this one. So I do have the 3. What about this one? This 2, I have to do it with 2. So I do have it this. Addition of this 2 is 5 or 6. It means that if I do have one slice of pizza from the 2 sliced pizzas, and if I do have one slice of pizza with 3 sliced pizzas, I can find a whole thing or the whole fraction that's going to be considered as a 5 slice of pizzas by the fact that I know that whole specific pizzas should 6 slices of those small ones should be beside each other in order to have that whole pizza itself. So this is the very simple way that you can add two mixed numbers. Let's see some examples just with the addition of the fractions and mixed numbers. Again, try to stop the video, try to think about it, and after that we come back. Again, it doesn't matter if you solve it, if you just find the wrong answer, it doesn't matter at all, because right now we are just learning. So I do have two fractions, 3 over 4 plus 3 over 4. It's not that hard. Both of them, they do have the same denominator. So 3 plus 3 is 6 over 4. If the question asks you to write it down as a mixed number, you can do it. Again, remember how many times of 4 I do have in 6, or how I can write it down. 4 multiplied by 2 and that, I'm sorry, oh my god, 4 multiplied by 2. 4 multiplied by 1 plus 1, I do have one whole pizza plus this one, which is going to be 2. Oh my god, what am I doing? This guy is going to be 2. So it means that one whole number, and after that I do have 2 divided by 4. What happened to 1 over 2? Because we remember that 2 over 4 can be reduced to lower terms. What is the number that I can divide that one? What is the number that can be used for the division of the numerator and denominator at this point? Again, the same number, 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Again, nothing changed. 1 over 2 is half. 2 over 4 is half itself. So let's talk about this second one. It's going to be a little bit challenging. Why? At this point, I don't have same denominator. I have to find that. So 5 and 10. Again, try to find LCD. Try not to look at the CD, just find the LCD. 5 is a prime number. 5 multiplied by 1. 10 is, on the other hand, is 2 by 5. So at this point, I have to find a prime number. 2 prime numbers. 2 and 5. How many times do I repeat it? Once. Each of these one once in their point. 2 times 5, 10. So I know the common denominator or the least common denominator is 10. What is the number that I have to multiply by 5 in order to reach to 10? Is to multiply the 2 by 2 as well. So you have 4. What about the 10? 10 just by itself, and 7. So you do have 11 over 10. How many whole pizzas do I have in 11 slices? By the fact that I know 10 slices is going to give me the whole pizza. So it would be 1 full pizza and 1 over 10. Can I reduce it down to small numbers? Obviously I can't. Let's work on the next one. I do have 9 over 32, 15 over 16. You obviously know that, right? 32 and 16. What is the common or the least common denominator? Remember, the least common denominator should be equal or bigger than the biggest number. So at this point, what do we have over here? We do have 32, we do have 16. Obviously, that number should be what? Should be 32. But let's see how we found the 32. So 32 is actually what? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Let's try it. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 16 times 2, 32. What about 16? Is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? So how many prime numbers do I have? Only 2. What is the most repeated amount of time of 2? Is what? This number. So 2 times 2, 5 times, is going to give me 32. So at this point, 32 right now is one of the numbers, and the same time is the least common denominator. So 9 over 32. Again, if I want to convert that one to this one, I'm doing nothing. What about 15 over 16? 16 multiplied by 2, 15 multiplied by 2. I do have that, 30. The final answer, 39 over 32. If you want to convert it to the what? The mixed number, you do like this. And the last number, again, is the one that we just learned. When you have the mixed numbers added up with another mixed numbers, do this simple parts. First of all, get rid of the whole numbers. 5 plus 1 is just 6. What about 2 over 5 and 3 over 4. What is the common denominator? Remember, find the prime numbers, multiply them together. At this point, I do have it as 20. So the only thing that I have to do is I have to find a way in order to convert 2 over 5 to question mark divided by 20 plus question mark divided by 20 for the next one. Easy, right? What is the number that should be multiplied by 5? And we have 20, that is 4. 2 also multiplied by 4, I do have it as 8. Simple. What about this one? 4 multiplied by 5, 3 multiplied by what? It would be as 5, 15. Do this one and you have it this. Okay, look at this one. At this point, I do have a fraction. Again, it's improper fraction. If you don't know what is a proper and improper fraction, you can look at the previous videos. So I do have a 23 over 20 and I'm trying to add it up with 6. But I do have one problem. 23 over 20 apparently is not a proper fraction. It has one whole number in it. So if you just consider it as a pizza that has 23 slices, while I know 20 of those slices are going to make the whole one. So this guy is actually one whole pizza with 3 slices. So right now I have to do this addition plus another 6 that I had. So 1 over 1 and 3 over 20 plus 6 is going to be 7 whole pizzas with 3 slices. And that's it. Simple as that. So let's move on to a subtraction of fractions. So again, just like the addition, subtraction of fraction means that you have to find a way to convert all of those fractions into something with common denominator. And after that, you can do that one. For example, at this point, I do have 20 divided by 24. It can be subtracted by 40 by 24. Why? Because both of them have the common denominator, which is 6 over 24. So let's look at this example that I do have 5 divided by 16 subtracted by what? 1 over 4. I cannot do that into the normal case. So first of all, I have to find the LCD. How I can do that? I have to write down the 16, 2 by 2 by 2. Write down the 4 as 2 by 2. Right now, I have to find the prime number. The prime number is 4, but let's look at the repetition. For the first part, I do have 4 times of repetition. For the second part, I only have 2. So consider the one that has the most amount of repetition. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times, which is going to give me 16. So 16 is a common denominator. So if I want to consider 5 into a new fraction, I don't have to do anything because it's already 16, so I don't have to do anything. But 1 over 4, in order to convert it to a new fraction, I have to see that the denominator, which was 4, is just multiplied by 4 in order to be 16. So 1 is going to multiply by 4. Again, I do have 4 over 16. 5 over 16 subtracted by that one is going to give me 1 over 16. Simple as that. So what would happen if you do have the mixed numbers? Again, the same scenario. The whole numbers are going to be subtracted by each other, and after that we do have fractions subtracted by each other. At this point, I do have 10, 2 over 3, subtracted by 4, 1 over 2. Easy. This 10 and this 4 should be subtracted by each other, so I do have it as 6. So 2 over 3 subtracted by 1 over 2. What is the number that I can consider as a common denominator? So obviously 6, right? So 2 times 3 is 6. What is the number that's going to be multiplied by 3? You do have the 6, 2. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. What about this one? This part by 3, so the same value, 3. I do have it as 1 over 6. So this one subtracted by that one would be 6 and 1 over 6. 6 whole pizzas and 1 slice of pizza itself. So it's not that hard. It is simple. So I do have it as the final answer. So what about, again, the borrowing method? So what does that mean at this point? So when you look at the whole things right now, that 5, well, with 1 over 16 subtracted by 5, 3 over 8, it's not that kind of simple anymore. Why is that? Because when you look at it this way, that when I'm doing this kind of, when I'm doing this subtraction, 5 by 3, so obviously it's 2, it's simple. What is one problem? 1 over 16 subtracted by 3 over 8. If I want to do the subtraction, I have to find the common denominator. Common denominator is 16 subtracted by 16. This guy needs nothing, so I do have it as 1. This guy is going to be multiplied by 2. I do have a 6. So the final answer is going to be something negative, which I don't like. I only like positive numbers. So what is happening at this point? At this point, I'm trying to some kind of subtract 6 slice out of 1 slice, so obviously I cannot do that. What should I do? At this point, I do have 2 whole pizzas, right? So I can use the borrowing method. Like other kind of subtraction, as you remember, I can borrow the whole pizza out of 2 pizzas, add it to my some kind of existence, or add it to my current slices of pizza, and after that do the subtraction. So at this point, 1 over 16 should be added up with what? With 1 whole pizza, which is going to be 1 over 16 plus 16 over 16. This guy is going to give me 17 over 16. Right now I do have it this one, but I have to remember my some kind of number just converted to 1, 17 over 16, instead of being as 2. So right now, I do have it as 1 as this number, right? Or maybe it could be a little bit challenging for you. So let's just focus it on the first part. It means that let's just focus on this part. I'm going to convert it to the new fraction. So I do have it as 4, 17 over 16 subtracted by 3 by what? By 6 over 16. The question just converted to like that. 4 subtracted by 3 is going to be 1. 17 over 16 subtracted by 6 over 16 is going to be what? 11 divided by 16. So that is my final number. Again, what happened over here, instead of just doing it blindly by subtracting the whole number together, we have to first of all check the fraction. That if I do the subtraction of one fraction out of another, am I still going to keep my positive value, or am I going to face a negative one? If I'm facing a negative value, it means that I have to borrow from the upper hand. Who is my upper hand over here? My upper hand is the whole number. So again, we can do this part. It's about the subtraction fraction of mixed numbers. So, I believe let's start from the first one. 2 over 5 subtracted by 1 over 3. Find the common denominator. It is 15. Find a way to convert the numbers or the numerators to the denominators. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. 1 is multiplied by 5 is 5. So I divide that as 1 over 15. Simple. 33, 1 over third, or 1/3. 15, 2 over 5. How I can do that? Subtract these two together. So what do I have? I do have 17. What about the fractions? 1 over 3 subtracted by 2 over 5. So what do I have? I do have it. If I convert it to 15, 15, 15, I do have it as 5, and I do have it as 6. You see that I'm going to face a negative number. I cannot subtract the 6 out of 5. What should I do at this point? I have to borrow a number out of this. So this one is going to give me something like this. Instead of just having 33 with 1 over 3, I do have a 32 with 4 over 3. Remember how I can have that? 1 over 3 plus 3 over 3 is going to give me 4 over 3. So this one is going to be subtracted by what? By 15. 2 over 5 just converted to 6 over 15. 6 over 15. Instead of just having 4 over 3, I'm going to have what? I'm going to have does have to use this conversion. Give me sections. So yes. So I had the 5 over 15. So right now I do have it as what? right now I do have it as 20 over 50. Maybe some of you would ask how. If you remember, I just borrowed a number out of the upper hand. So I do have 4 over 3. And this guy should be converted to 15 to a number divided by 15. 3 multiplied by 5, 4 multiplied by 5. So I do have it as 20 itself. Let's do the subtraction. So if you do that one, at the end you have 17, 14 divided by 15. So at the beginning, I have to some kind of fix this value, because again, remember, at the beginning of the point, it was 18, but right now I just converted it to 17. Why? Because I used the borrowing method. I believe you all can do the rest. So if you do have any problem, just put a comment for me, and after that, I focus on each of those questions that you have. So let's talk about the multiplication of those fractions, because again, it's not that hard. It is so simple. For the multiplication, I don't have to worry about the common denominator. I don't have to worry about anything. What should I do? I do have a 3 over 4 multiplied by 4 over 4 for 16. Multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator. So I do have it at 12 divided by 64. So that's it. So I do have this one as an answer. If the question asks you to find the answer and also convert it to the lowest terms, we can do some extra step. It means that find the number that is going to be common in both of them. For example, at this point, again, start with baby steps. Divided by 2, divided by 2. I have a 6 divided by 32. Can I still do that? Yes. Divided by 2, divided by 2. Do I have 3 divided by 16? Can I continue? No, that's the final one. So this is my final answer in lowest terms. So what about the whole numbers? So about the whole numbers, first of all, we have to find a way in order to convert our whole number to fraction. If you guys remember some kind of from the elementary or from the part that we learned about the fraction, any number can be written as fraction. So 4 can be written as 4 divided by 1. What does that mean? It means that 4 divided by 1 is just 4 itself, right? So I didn't do anything. I just changed the way that I can write it down. So at this point, I do have it what? 3 divided by 4 multiplied by 4 by 4. Well, sorry, by 4 by 1. I didn't change anything. I just convert this guy to this guy. Why I'm trying to do that? Because if you remember from the multiplication, we have to have 2 numerators. We have to have 2 denominators. So 3 multiplied by 4 is going to give me 12. 4 multiplied by 1 is going to give me 4. But wait a minute. This is some kind of fraction. It can be a little bit simplified. How so? Because if I divide this guy by 2, what do I have? I do have 6. I do have a 2. Divided by 2. Divided by 2, I divide 3 and 1, or 12 divided by 14, just 3, right? So I can simplify it more. Remember, try to reduce them to the lowest terms all the time. Whatever the question gives to you, or it didn't, try to do that, because you are going to simplify the whole thing. So that was about the multiplication, and this is another part. So about the division, division is also could be a little bit challenging. So that's why probably we are not going to talk about that one right now, or just it's completely based on some kind of your suggestion that if you need me to consider division, I also can do that, but that part is going to be a little bit complicated. Thank you very much for being here today with me. Have a good night, good day, whatever. See you around. Take care.